What's up, Internet? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Nigel's Critiques and Stuff. I'm your host, Nigel. Gonna be giving you my thoughts on movies I've been watching this week. And today I'm gonna be taking a look at The Minions, Rise of Gru. And honestly, I'm pretty excited about this one. I actually kind of missed seeing these little yellow bastards running around f***ing up shit, but being ridiculously lovable at the same time. So if you're into extremely opinionated, no smoke up your ass movie reviews, pretty please hit that like and subscribe button down there for me. Alright, let's get to it. So here we are, returning to the world of Despicable Me / Despicable Gru and the Minions in a movie sequel that's really a prequel, and timelines are probably more confusing than whatever gibberish language the Minions are talking in. I mean, there was the first Despicable Me movie, then the second Despicable Me, then the extremely forgettable first Minions movie, which went way back in time, then fast forward again to Despicable Me 3, and now we're backtracking again to what really should have been the first Minions movie to begin with, and yep, I think that about covers it. And I'm pretty sure everyone over at Illumination Studios wishes they could just Men in Black mind zap everyone into forgetting all about that 2015 colossal letdown of a movie and replace it with this one. But if they learned anything over there at Illumination from the first Minions solo experiment, it's that as lovable and adorable as those jabbering little f***ups are, the formula just doesn't work without some version of Gru. So fortunately, it looks like they took their time with this one, took the necessary time off, and came back with a watchable rendition of these little yellow moneymakers alongside the despicably grumpy villain we all know and love. And that's where we are with this one, The Rise of Gru. Now, I'm not gonna say the storyline was all over the place for this one, but there was a lot going on in this movie. It's almost like there were two movies trying to fit into one, because there's kind of a main storyline with Gru as he's going through his adventures of trying to join the Vicious Six, and then him finding a mentor along the way who's really trying to show him the ropes of how to up his despicable game, and then you've got all these other side stories and side adventures starring just the Minions. But they do successfully get back to a working formula for this movie, and it does a pretty decent job of giving us a backstory on Gru's rise to evil villainy. I mean, aside from the fact that it still doesn't answer the most obvious question of why he wants to be an evil villain so bad in the first place. I mean, there is a scene in the movie where he's sitting in like a career day with all these other kids, and they're all rambling on about what they want to be when they grow up, and they're all throwing out normal shit like, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a marine biologist, or I want to be a Walmart greeter, you know, standard stuff. And then here comes Gru like, I want to be the most famous villain in the world. And I'm like, okay, this kid probably needs some serious therapy, but hey, it's America. Everybody's got different aspirations. And honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about how I feel about this young 11-year-old version of Gru in the first place. So we've seen many stages of Despicable Gru. We've seen him as ornery old fart who adopts 3 little kids. We've seen him as an ornery old fart who falls in love and sings Pharrell songs all day. And we've seen him as an ornery old fart who finds out his mother was a stone cold freak back in the day and forgot to tell him that he had a twin brother. And I gotta say, ornery old fart Gru had kinda grown on me a little bit there. Anywho, this whole prepubescent Gru keeps claiming that he's despicable, but he just doesn't give off despicable vibes yet. It's like he's just too cute. And not cute like the little kid whose cheeks you just want to pinch. He's cute in like a Stewie Griffin sort of way. Like, you know he's over there making plans to annihilate the world, but at the same time he's a 3-foot tall little kid on a tricycle. So it's a tad bit adorable. I mean, he's almost the same size as the Minions. So it's like watching Eric Cartman walk around his mom's basement with a room full of butters, making their diabolical plans to take over the playground. But granted, at the same time, that's really the whole reason why we go to see these Minion movies in the first place. It's the reason there's a whole ride at Universal and a whole banana-loving menu at the IHOP. 'Cause they're freaking adorable. So what, you can't understand the word they're saying? They're still getting shit done. They're flying around in planes and passing out peanuts, and somehow they've always got a DJ on standby just ready and waiting to get the party started. I mean, if nothing else, you gotta at least admire the Minions for being the most supportive henchmen ever seen. And we've got the old gang all back together in this one. We got Stuart, Kevin, and Bob all making a triumphant comeback, and plus this time around they introduce a new little idiot named Otto, and this little guy is all hot. Absolutely no brain whatsoever, just all hot. I mean, Gru even trusted him to hold on to this mystical medallion thingy called the Zodiac Stone, and he ends up trading it for a pet rock that's almost as dumb as him. But poor little Otto is committed to getting the stone back and making things right, like whatever it takes. And that's the kind of can-do attitude that makes you say, okay, I know you f***ed up, but I just can't stay mad at you. And of course, we've also got a new set of baddies in this movie called the Vicious Six. And young Gru is a huge fan, and the leader of the bunch ends up becoming like a mentor to Gru and setting him up on his first official villain missions. And he's like literally the worst possible influence a little kid should even be around. And I'm pretty sure there's probably restraining orders keeping him within 10 miles of most schoolyards, but hey, somehow it just works. So they decide to hold auditions for a new member of the Vicious Six crew, and somehow this 11-year-old Gru gets an invite. Now, one thing I gotta say, you can tell that the writers really must have had a good time coming up with all these 70s themed bad guys. Of course, the 70s was definitely a time in history when people just ordinarily walked around dressed like it was Halloween on a Tuesday. I mean, any one of these villains could have easily been either a member of the Vicious Six or auditioning for the Village People. Could have gone either way. And even though there's just a ton of crazy, completely disconnected shit happening throughout this movie, they really do put the Minions in some fun and entertaining scenarios. I mean, you've got Michelle Yeoh playing the voice of this acupuncturist lady with some mad kung fu skills, and she takes on Dave, Kevin, and Stu as her little pupils and try to teach them the ways of the kung fu and how to master their inner beast.
Kevin.
And for some reason, there's just tons of Minion booty just sprinkled all throughout this flick. Apparently, butts are hilarious to kids. Who knew? But overall, I am a fan of this movie. Always been a Minions fan. Hated the first Minions movie, but really digging this one though. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this movie a thumbs up and a be-do. Cause it really is a fun, crazy roller coaster ride that the whole family can enjoy. Well, that's gonna about do it for this episode. Before you get out of here, please make sure you click that like and subscribe button down there for me. And for some really cool articles and lifestyle tips, make sure to pop over and check out urbanebachelor.com. They got some really cool stuff going on over there. Well, that about does it for me. See you next movie.